My name is Megan Brown and I'm a dietitian with Buncombe County WIC. Today we're going to be cooking an Arabian squash casserole, which is great for the winter because it's spicy, so it'll heat things up a little. And it uses an ingredient that's good at this time of year, like butternut squash. So we're starting this recipe off with about 4 cups of butternut squash, about a tablespoon of olive oil, 1½ cups of chopped onions, teaspoon of salt, 1 small red peppermint, 1 small green peppermint, about 5 cloves of garlic, black pepper and cayenne, ½ cup of plain yogurt, 1 cup of crumbled feta, 1/3 cup of sunflower seeds, and as much fresh parsley as you want. This recipe came from the Moosewood cookbook series. If you're familiar, it's vegetarian and vegan style recipes, and they're usually pretty colorful recipes that offer a lot of vitamins and minerals. So this is going to be good to serve with breakfast, with some tortillas, or a side item at lunch, or maybe with dinner with crackers or something. You can really use it at any time of the day. So we have first started off with our butternut squash, and I have already prepped it, as you can see, but I peeled the butternut squash and then cubed it. So after I cubed it, I just stuck it on the stove in a little bit of water to boil it, to soften it a little bit. You can roast it, you can saute it, you can really do whatever you want to with it. You can mash it and puree it, but I like it cubed because I like a little bit of texture. So after I cubed that, I cut up the peppers and the onions and garlic, and I used the tablespoon of olive oil to saute them on the stove for about 5 minutes, just to make everything a little translucent, a little soft. And while I was sauteing it, I added the salt, the cayenne, and the pepper. So this is where, if you're like, ooh, I don't really like spicy foods, you can really adjust the spice by not putting as much cayenne in it. But if you're like me and like a little spicy, add as much as you want. So I took care of that. So what we're going to do next is take our yogurt and just get a little bowl like this and mix your yogurt. And this is just plain non-fat yogurt. You don't want to really use like vanilla or something. That wouldn't taste right. So just plain low-fat yogurt, and then here's my feta. You can use low-fat feta, but it's crumbled, and dump that in there. But, you know, actually, I like to use a fork to mix this because the feta sometimes can come out in like big chunks, you know, the ones that are up top. So if you use a fork, you can kind of mash down those big chunks. Because you want to blend this. This is going to be like your glue that holds the casserole together. And this portion of it is going to add a lot of flavor. And if you don't want to use feta, if you don't like feta, you can use some other type of pungent cheese. But the yogurt's going to be good because it adds calcium and protein to the casserole. So definitely want to incorporate the yogurt. All right, that's all good and mixed. All right. So next, it's just kind of mixing it all together. So I have my large mixing bowl with my cooked butternut squash. Dump that in there. Here's all my little saute that we talked about earlier. Dump that in. Don't miss any of the little peppers, any of the goodness. All right, so there's that. I'm going to throw in my little yogurt mix that we just made. And you're going to need a baking dish because you're going to bake this at about 350 for, I mean, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But it does not need to be greased, okay? The olive oil in the saute is going to be enough. So just blend this together. And this is where you'll see where I don't like to use a pureed butternut squash, because it just wouldn't come out as pretty. Like, this looks really pretty. This looks festive. So lots of vitamins in this. Vitamin A, vitamin C, a lot of antioxidants. We talked about the protein with the yogurt. So, okay. So take your dish and just dump it all in there. Okay. Put that aside. So just spread it out like so. And again, my oven's already heated up to about 350. So this thing's ready to go in. And to top it off, before you put it in the oven, take your sunflower seeds. If you don't like sunflower seeds, you can use any type of seed. Walnuts, just sprinkle those on, pine nuts. But this will add a nutty flavor, and again, some more protein and some omegas that are really good for your heart. And then we're going to cook this for about 20 minutes and then top it with the parsley. It's been about 20 minutes. We're going to get the finished product out of the oven. Your seeds should be pretty toasty but not burnt. And depending on how much feta you used, it could be bubbly. So this is your finished product. And we're going to take our parsley, and you can chop it all pretty using a cutting board, or if you're like me, just tear it up with your fingers. It's all the same. Your clean hands though. And see, that green really adds a pop. And it's going to add some fresh flavor. And I like just a little bit more on mine. So see, doesn't this look nice for any holiday meal or just some special occasion, or even just during the week? We've made enough that you could really eat on for a couple of days. So this is your Arabian squash casserole, compliments of the Moosewood cookbook.